Okay, right, we're recording. So good afternoon, welcome, hello everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. For those that are wondering what you're here for, well, this is the Think Big Pitching Competition briefing session. And over the course of the next 20 minutes to half an hour, we're going to give you an overview of what to consider, what you need to think about when coming to submit your entry for this semester's Think Big Pitching Competition, because we want you to be putting your best idea forwards and be able to share it with us in the best way possible. Now, for those that have looked at the brief, what do you need to do? Well, we're going to come on to that, but we do need to ask you to upload a video along with your application as well. But before we quickly jump off into what it's all about and the way to get across your message clearly and concisely for our judges, it's just probably worth mentioning the team here. So I can just very quickly ask them to introduce yourself, because they're integral, they're super important, because if you have any questions, you can fire those questions off to them. We'll also put various contact details in the chat. So I'm going to come to the two lovely ladies sitting next to each other, Catherine and Christina. Just a quick introduction from you both, please.
Hi everybody, and thank you, David. My name is Catherine Foote. I'm the Student Enterprise and Entrepreneurship Manager, and I look after the Anglo-Ruskin Enterprise Academy team.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Ioniza, and I'm the Enterprise and Entrepreneurship Administrator for the team.
Brilliant. Let's go to Chelmsford.
Hi everyone, I'm Abhinav. I'm the Student Enterprise Officer here at Anglo-Ruskin Chelmsford campus. Nice to meet you all.
Brilliant, thank you, Abhinav. And Emmanuel, I'd imagine you're in Cambridge, but say hello and tell us who you are.
Hi everyone, I'm Emmanuel and I'm Areas Marketing Coordinator.
Brilliant, thank you. And Omkar, you're sitting on the roof in Cambridge.
Yeah, that's correct. So hi, I'm Omkar. I'm Student Enterprise Officer for Cambridge and Peterborough.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So there is the team, area team, who are fully behind this Think Big pitching competition. So this 25 minutes video, if you're watching it on catch up or if you're live with us in the room, is going to hopefully answer a lot of the questions that some of you may have about how do I enter, what do I need to do, how do I create a video, and how and where do I share that as well. So we're going to cover that off now. Now, the first thing is, if you're here live in the room, you can use the chat if you have any questions. We'd encourage you to pop a question in the chat if you do have that. Do pop your hand up. If you feel brave enough to unmute yourself, you're welcome to ask out loud. It's always nice, actually, if you do ask a question, turn your camera on as well. We get to see you as well as hear you. But if you're a little bit shy, you can leave your camera off and just ask. But do use the chat. If you are watching this on catch up and we haven't answered your question, then you'll be able to direct your question via email, or you can go via Microsoft Teams. So please do reach out to us if you're not sure we haven't answered those questions. The email address will get into the chat now, so you'll be able to see that there, and any other contact details the team will pop in there as well as we work our way through. So the deadline is approaching pretty quickly. You've got until this Friday, the 22nd at 5 p.m, which means if you haven't already submitted your entry, the clock is ticking down quite rapidly, which means you're going to have to get going and get your application completed, submitted by 5 o'clock on this Friday, because that deadline will not be extended. So don't procrastinate. Take the opportunity this week to put some time aside. Probably only going to need maybe half hour, 45 minutes initially to do the application. And for those that are maybe coming back, maybe you entered in our last Think Big pitching competition, you're going to have an idea what's involved, and you'll just need to do some polishing, tweaking, unless you come up with a completely different idea, and then obviously you're submitting something new and fresh as well. So deadline, write that down, Friday the 22nd at 5 p.m. Now, a couple of other dates for you. If you are entering the Think Big pitching competition, there's 3 dates that you need to have in your calendar, because if you are successful and you go through to the live presentations, i.e. you're going to be in the room presenting to our panel of dragons, our judges, then you need to be available on one of these 3 dates. And those dates for Cambridge is Monday the 13th of May. Times will be confirmed. I don't think we've set the times quite yet, but they will be confirmed. They will be during the day. So don't worry, you won't have to be there at silly o'clock in the morning or be there at midnight. So Monday the 13th of May for the Cambridge campus. Chelmsford campus is Monday the 20th of May, but that could possibly change depending on where entries come from. We might end up having a double whammy in Cambridge, but if you are on Chelmsford campus, that would be your date. So Monday the 20th of May. And Peterborough, Wednesday the 22nd of May. So they're the 3 dates to pop in your calendar. Now, if you say, well, hold on, David, I'm from Chelmsford campus. I can't do Monday the 20th because I've got other things better to do, which is not going to be the case, of course, then do let us know and we will try to fit you in on one of the other dates. The only thing is we can't promise that, okay, but we will work with you and do our best. I'm just reading the chat here. Can I please confirm the deadline as on the website? It says all entries must be no later than midday on the 22nd. Okay, my apologies. It is, and I've got my notes here. It does say midday. So yes, I've just taken 5 hours away from you. Midday this Friday, the 22nd. So please make sure you submit it by midday this coming Friday. Well picked up. Thank you very much, Fatima, for putting that in there and correcting my error. I'm not perfect, so I do my best, but not perfect as none of us are. Right, okay, so we know the deadlines. We know when the pitches will take place if you get through. Now you need to think about your application. You will notice in the chat, Christina's already shared the Microsoft form. It's quite straightforward and quite simple. There's a little bit of information that needs to be captured. Firstly, who are you is one of the big points there. So we need to know who you are. Christina, just talk us through the other elements. I know it's student number, then we have obviously the idea, we have to summarize that. Do you have a copy of the form in front of you? You can just tell us what those segments are briefly.
Yes. So there is a text box where you have to insert your business proposition. So what is your business? What problems are you trying to solve? What is your product or service, and what sort of customers are you looking for? So just a very brief description so we can understand what you are trying to achieve and for us to see if your idea has potential to grow.
Right, there we go. So it's quite straightforward. It's quite simple. You've only got limited number of characters as well, a number of words. So do think about that. Make sure what you're trying to do is get across that all important idea and message in that application form. But what we do know, it's much nicer for us to hear and potentially see you as well. So what we're also asking, once you complete and submit the application form, you need to also do a 1-minute video. Now we say 1 minute because 1 minute is normally enough for us to kind of understand it about your idea and what it is that you're trying to achieve. If it's any longer than that, then we might lose the opportunity to really get down to the nitty-gritty and understand that. So 1 minute, no longer. Please don't make a 1 minute and 30 seconds because the judges will not be allowed to watch anything past that 1 minute. It will be basically redacted down to that 1 minute. So please make sure it is on cue for 1 minute. Now, when you do that video, it's entirely up to you. Some of you might choose to do like a you talking to camera piece. That's absolutely fine. So if you wish to have you as the focal point telling us about your idea, perfect. But some of you might be a little bit camera shy or a little bit unsure. So if you wish to use slides and then do a voiceover, that's absolutely fine as well. We're quite open to creative ways. If you want to do a bit of both, you want to have slides with you over the top, then you can also do that as well. So 1 minute video to get across your idea. Make sure you do share with us what your idea is about, how you maybe come up with the idea, whose life or world you might change. How's this idea going to help others improve the life for others, or it's brand new, inventive that you're coming up with. So tell us a little bit more about it. But you only got 1 minute, so don't go into real detail because you're not going to have the chance. It's just a overview of what it is and what you do, or what it is and what you would like to do. Now, how could you share this? As I say, it could be to camera, but some of you might want to use some slides. Now, a really good program that most of you are probably using, and if you're not, certainly worth looking at, is called Canva. It's a really good kind of publishing software, design and publishing, very simple and easy to use. There's a free version available, so you don't even have to pay for it or subscribe to it, and it's called canva.com. Now, why is this great? There's a couple of reasons for it. That if you are going to create some slides, you could create them in Canva, but you can also overlay your video on it as well. So you kind of do two things at once. You can have you showing us through your idea and some simple, clean, contemporary slides, and there is in the chat the link to Canva. But you can also then have your video there, so we get to see you and hear you at the same time. Now, we're not going to have a chance to do a complete training course today, but if anyone wants to know a little bit more about Canva, you can go to the website. There's some great tutorial videos on there, how to use it. What I will do is I will share my screen in a moment and just quickly show you some of the benefits of it. But I also need to show you then, what do you do once you've created your video? How do we upload that? Now, if we are going to be using you're going to be doing a piece to camera, i.e. you, even if you are sharing slides, we're going to see there's a couple of things to take into consideration. Firstly, make sure your camera works and we can see you. Very important. Don't sit in front of a window so you just become a dark silhouette because it's picking up the light from the outside. So just be a little bit careful. You can see with Christina, there's a halo around your head, Christina, but at least we can see you. But sometimes if you get with the light behind you, you kind of go quite dark and we kind of just see a shadow. So just bear that in mind when you are recording your video. Really important audio, probably the most important part, that we can hear you. So if you are sharing your idea and tell us a little bit about it, we need to understand what it is that you're telling us. So make sure your audio is clear. So it's always worthwhile doing a trial run before you do your kind of final video. Just check the camera, check the lighting, check the audio, declutter your background. If you don't have a virtual background on, make sure you remove your washing line and, you make your bed or whatever it is. Or if you're in another room, it's clean and tidy and stuff like that, because anything in the background becomes a distraction. You're better off, a bit like Abhinav here, just having a clean background, even though we can just see a few plants sticking through there, Abhinav, but having a nice, clean, tidy background. Then the emphasis is on you as the speaker, as the person doing the presenting. We're not looking around seeing if you've made your bed or not. So quite important. So we've checked the lighting, we've checked the camera, we've checked the audio, we've got a tidy background. We need to understand what it is that we're going to be sharing. So it's worthwhile spending a bit of time scripting out. Don't just turn the camera on and there to the camera, because in most cases it won't come out clearly. You'll get a little bit lost, you'll get a little bit flustered, and we won't get that perfect minute of information. So it's worth just taking notepad and pen, jotting down kind of the key points that you want to get across. Now, if you feel a little bit wary of doing this, you could write out a script and you could read from that script. Be a little bit careful with that, because it will become a little bit wooden. We want to hear you. So if you are going to script something out, spend a little bit of time of rehearsing it, learning it, and kind of try and deliver it naturally if possible, rather than actually reading from a piece of paper. There is some great bits of software out there, teleprompter and auto cues, where you can actually script something out in like Word. You then load it into the auto cue. I'll give you some links before we finish. But if you just Google auto cue or teleprompter, they're available in the app stores and stuff like that. There's free versions as well as paid for versions, and the paid for versions are not overly expensive, but it allows you to upload your script and then it basically appears on the screen. So as you are actually delivering recording, you can actually read. There we go, there's one called Cue Prompter just popped in there. As you're actually delivering your 1 minute video, you can actually read the information off the screen. So that's really helpful. And it makes sure you get across the clear points. But because you are doing it virtually, you can write some notes, have them in front of you. You could put some post-it notes up around your screen or on the wall with the key points that you need to get across. If you get away with doing it in the first take, awesome. But there's a good chance you're going to probably need to do it maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 times for some of you. Unless you're quite a natural that can just talk to a camera, it can be a little bit daunting the first time that you've done it. So let me share my screen, and what we'll do is we'll just have a look at Canva just as an idea. You could use PowerPoint, by the way. You could use Keynote. Entirely up to you what other applications you wish to use. Okay, let me just get to the right screen. He says, I think it's this one here. Quickly scroll over. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen that I'm now sharing. So I'm just going to go to canva.com. And I'm not going to open up the app. Let's just carry on inside here in the browser. Otherwise, it'll go to a different screen. Right. OK, so canva.com. You can sign up just with a username and password. No credit card details required unless you want the paid for account. But I promise you, the free account is awesome. Now, when you actually come to here, you can come up to the top here. You can search for what you're looking for. And you could just type in here presentation. OK, and it will come up with lots of different templates that you could use. So I'm just going to take presentation. Okay, and you could then choose a predefined template if you wish to use it. Now, just for the quickness and the easiest, I'm just going to show you how to create from a blank presentation. Okay, let's continue in the browser. I have the app on my machine, so it's always trying to go off to the app, but I want to be able to demonstrate it in here. So when you come here, you can now build out your slides. And say if you want to use one of the templates here, you could do, but you can build them just like you can in PowerPoint by putting the information straight into the slide. Just for quickness here, just to kind of show you something, I'm just going to pick one of the templates. I'm just going to pop that on there. Okay, we can then come in here, we could delete images, replace images, change text and stuff like that. So again, quite quickly, you can tailor something using a current template. But the bit I want to show you, which I think is quite an important part, is being able to do an overlay. So what we can actually do is overlay our video over the top of this. So I'm going to quickly just go to video. Okay, so down the left hand side here, imagine we've built our slides, okay, like you would in PowerPoint. I've now got the opportunity to record myself. You can see this purple button here. And this is where you could click the button. I think this is going to work, so we're going to give it a go because here we go. There I am on the screen as well. So there's a double whammy of me. You can see I've got a green screen behind me, but that's obviously doesn't matter from your perspective. And you can then choose whether you're going to just record on camera. So that's just you, like it is now talking to camera, or me. I could choose camera and screen. So now I can choose if I want to actually share maybe another screen. Or I can just share screen if I wish to do so as well. So for this point, I'm just going to do my slides and me. Okay, and all I'm going to do is hit the record button. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. You'd be ready to go, and then you'd start your pitch, and you can see it's now recording. I'm getting a timer down the bottom. It's recording my audio, it's recording my video. I'm not going to do too long here, but this is where you'll be delivering your 1 minute pitch. Now, once you've done that and you get to your 1 minute and you don't go over, you hit the done button. And now it's actually created it. I could actually play this back if I wish to do so. So just to check it, then you start your pitch. And you can, okay, so we know it's working. I'm going to click the save and exit. And now that has actually created, there we go, start your pitch. And you can see it's now created I've got my slides with my video ready to go. And I can still come in here, by the way, and change it to whatever I would like. That's an easy. Now, last bit, once you've created your slides, you've created your overlay video, we just need to basically download that. And to do that, you hit the share button, hit the download button, and you're going to download it as a video, okay, an MP4 video. And then we will just click download. I'm not going to do that. It would download it, save it to your local desktop or My Documents or wherever you've decided to save that video. Now, once done, you've got your video, you can check it, make sure it looks good, make sure it's got all the information in there you wish to share. And then the next bit is that you need to upload that. And we're going to ask you to upload your videos into YouTube. So most of you will probably have a YouTube account. If not, sign up for a free account on YouTube, just using an email address and password. Now, once you've actually logged into your YouTube account, you'll be able to upload your video. So in the top right hand corner up here, you can see I've got a little camera with the plus button on. If I hit that, don't go live, but go to upload video. And now you can search for that video on your desktop, wherever you saved it. So I'm just going to go to select files, and then I would search for it wherever I've got that saved. Okay, so if I actually go into somewhere in here, here we go, lots of different videos. If I went into here, I could choose an ARU one. Here we go. So I could choose an ARU video. I'd click the open button, and now it's going to start to upload that video. I can now just give it a name. So this is where we want you to title it, i.e. first name, last name, and then you could put your business name or idea. Give us a quick description, just in a few words, okay? This might be copied and pasted out of your original application. So we're not looking for a long-winded description here, just a couple of lines, just so if we do look at this, it all comes together. Don't worry too much about playlists, but if you want to save it somewhere, you can create yourself a playlist and call it ARU. Just hit new playlist and save it. Make sure you tick, or by default, it is not made for kids because we don't want to put it into the YouTube for kids section. This is for adults only, of course. We are going to make this private, by the way, or what we call unlisted. So it's not going to be available for everyone to find and search. And all you're going to do is once you go through, click next. Don't need to do too much here. Don't worry about subtitles or anything like that. So you can just hit next again. It's going to do some copyright checks. Don't panic, by the way, if it picks up a copyright issue, like you've used some music or it's picked up an image in the background. This is only affects if you're publishing it and you want it to be searchable in the YouTube store. So don't worry about that. If it does pick anything up, just ignore it. And then finally, this is the last splash screen. You need to switch this to, well, you have a choice. Unlisted means that only people with the link that you're going to share with us can access it, and we're not going to share that link with anybody else, so then it remains private. Or you can click public and it's then available to everybody, but just bear in mind that is everybody. Anyone that searches you are going to be famous on YouTube, so probably you're going to want to have it selected as unlisted. Please don't click the private button. The problem is with that, if you send us this link, which I'll talk about in a second, we're not going to be able to access it unless you've gone in here and actually emailed it to us via this box. So you could do that as an option, but the problem is with that, we're giving this to external judges who will be looking through these, okay, and they won't be on your confirmed list. So for that reason, they won't be able to see your video. So this just does not work. So just choose unlisted, or if you feel really super brave and you love your pitch, then you can switch it to public. So unlisted is the preference. And then finally, this here is your URL. This is what you need to copy by hitting the copy button. I'm just going to hit copy on that. And once you hit save, okay, that will be uploaded. I am going to delete this afterwards. So I'm just going to hit save. There we go. And again, I can copy that link if I wish to do so again. That's what we're going to ask you to submit. And if I just quickly open another window and pop that link in there I just downloaded, you'll see that that video is already there. Okay, so that's the one I just uploaded a moment ago. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing because it's much nicer to see me than it is to see my desktop. So Canva, great tool, simple to use, makes good quality slides, and you can do your voiceover and video over. Just showing you how to upload it into YouTube. If anyone has any challenges doing this, then please reach out to us. We'll help. You can email me, Christina. I'm quite happy for my email address to be put in there, which is david.bell@aru.ac.uk. So if anyone wants to reach out to me and ask any questions about Canva or YouTube, then please do so. I will do my best to assist and help. Of course, the rest of the team are here to help as well. So that is a bit of a whistle-stop tour on how to take your video, create it, and upload it. Christina, Catherine, Abhinav, Emmanuel, is there anything that I've missed at this time?
I think that you covered it really well there, David. So the main thing is just to get that application in and make sure that the video link is there as well and that it is accessible. And just think about those key things you need to include in your presentation as well, which have you already covered that, Christina, or do you want to just say a few words about those really, really key things that we would be looking for?
So it would be great if you could talk about what your idea is. Who is your customer? What kind of problem are you trying to solve? And what is your vision for success? So where do you want to go with this idea? As long as you answer those 4 questions, you should be fine. Again, you only have 1 minute, so do not try to do information overload because you won't be able to watch it past 1 minute.
Yeah, and don't panic about trying to squeeze lots of facts, figures and numbers in. If you want to share, just condense that down, just give us an overview, out my idea, I've done the research and it's $1 billion, global market. That's great, but you're not going to be able to get down to the finer detail in a 1-minute video. So just give us that snapshot, that overview. We want to hear you. We want to hear your enthusiasm, the fire in your belly. That's what we really want to see coming across. Not loads of slides and lots of information. We want to hear you sharing that idea with us. Good. I think that's it. I think we've covered quite a lot in the time that we've had together. So good luck. We look forward to seeing your entries arriving by midday this Friday, the 22nd. That is midday this Friday, the 22nd. If anyone has any questions, you can reach out to myself or the team here. We'd be happy to help. And we look forward to sitting back and enjoying your videos and reading your applications. And yeah, is there any questions for anyone in the room here with us today? If there is, please pop those into the chat. We'll just quickly cover those off before we say goodbye. Nothing's coming in, then we will say goodbye very shortly. If anyone got any question, you can raise your hand if you wish and ask out loud. No hands going up, no questions